look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really want to
try. So what up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the InforMILLy podcast. We are four brothers, missing one this week, but all love to him from the Miller neighborhood of Gary, Indiana. We come together and converse about an array of topics. And no matter where the conversation goes, whether that be positive, negative, or neutral, we pride ourselves on three principles, and that is being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest. In case it's your first time listening to us, my name is Josh. I tend to talk the most. But I am not the only host of this here show. We also have Adam.
Morning or evening, whenever you listen to this or watch this.
And we got Marco No Polo. Oh, we lost your audio.
My bad, having technical difficulties.
All good. We informal around here. So
That's vulnerable. That's vulnerable right there.
That's a vulnerable moment. So we want to start our show off with always adhering to our three principles. Fellas, in the week that has just passed, was there any moment that you would like to share of being either forthright, vulnerable, or honest?
See, I don't think I have anything this week off the top of my head, at least. Not in this week.
Yeah, I can't think of nothing specifically to my life, you know. But
Word. Well, I got one. Probably shouldn't put this on the internet, but who cares at this point? All 27 of you who listen to us, we appreciate you, and you're not gonna know who I'm talking about anyway. And so I was telling y'all this last week, so it wasn't this week, but just in recent times, I had an old student try to rob me. And it was a point of vulnerability and a point of honesty. So vulnerability because I'm the one that reached out to them because they had been on social medias looking a little wild. And so me and another former student that reached out to Kat being like, yo, are you all right? And long story short, I gave them a little money, and then they proceeded to not pay me back. But the craziest part of the story is that I sent them some money through Cash App. They claimed they didn't get it, and I sent a screenshot, time showing completion, and the other side of that being that they sent me a response message confirming that they got it. And then They proceeded to ask me for more money as if they didn't get it. And I said, no, you need to figure that out. Call customer service or something. So then less than a week later, maybe a week later, they hit me up like, hey, could you spot me again? And I'm like, no, because you already owe me money. Why would I give you more money? And you already owe me money. And
run it back. Let's run this situation back.
And so then I was like, yo, you gotta chill because you giving off real kind of junky vibes, and this isn't okay. I feel like this is a deleted scene from New Jack City. And so then they proceeded to keep on keeping on, and they were like, hey, okay, you know what? I'll send you. I can go ahead and send you the money now. And I was like, that sounds weird because if you could have did that, you'd have just done that. They send me a screenshot saying that they sent money, but on the bottom of it, it says pending because they were not cognizant enough to crop that part of the photo out. And so I go, that says pending. You didn't send me any money. Nothing happened. And for it to be Cash App, that means both you have no money on your Cash App and you have no money in the account that your Cash App is attached to. So you didn't do anything. They proceeded to go, man, I told you I sent you some money and you out here talking about pending. Like it was a thing I made up.
Yeah.
And so then they go, what's your number, man? And I was like, what you need my number for? We're talking through Facebook Messenger, like what you need my number for? Like, you can call me on here. You can video call me on here. Either one. And they didn't answer the question. And then they were like, so I hit up customer service and they this is your cash tag, right? I was like, yeah. So then they were like, word, okay, so what's your PIN? And I was like, PIN? This app doesn't have a PIN. And even if it did have a PIN, pins are used to sign into things. Why would you need a PIN?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It's like when they told me they needed a PIN, and I was like, you didn't call customer service because the only PIN involved in this app is to sign into this account, and they have to send you a PIN when you put in the number of that account, right?
Yeah.
And so I go, so either you don't know how this app works, or you think I'm fucking stupid. And he's like, no, I don't think that. No, you think I'm stupid because you're trying to sign into my account so you can send yourself money. So fuck you. In all informal and formal honesty. And till you run me my ducats, don't contact me again. Because I already don't do dishonesty well. And for you to blatantly try to rob me when I reached out to you to try to help you out, help you get back on your feet from whatever the situation is that I'm not privy to. Yeah, I was a little taken aback. Now, since then, I've had some conversations with some other people to give me a little more insight into what that situation may be. So I may have a little compassion returned, but I have no compunction toward the situation.
Compunction.
None.
Killed them with that one.
I can't say I've heard that word before.
Compunction, it means remorse.
Nice.
Hey, yo, is that
sounds good?
My bad.
No,
Is
you're
that the Gorillaz album? The new Gorillaz album? Behind that picture? Y'all heard that?
Mm-mm.
Wait, behind
It looks like the album art a little bit.
Oh no. You talking about all the way on the end or right behind?
In the middle.
In the middle, no, that's a Christmas card from from a friend.
I had to ask that, man.
No,
I got a scam story.
Oh, go ahead.
It makes me very embarrassed when I tell this story, man. But
because you got scammed? You got scammed?
Definitely got scammed at a carnival, man.
Been there. That's Scam Central.
Yeah, they're amazing at it.
Scam HQ.
You just can't, take the bait. You just go there, take $50, $60, and say, I'm just gonna spend this right here.
It's like this money's going. There's no return on this.
It's like the internet. It's like the beginning of the internet, like Dave Chappelle when he was walking through. It's like that when you at a carnival. But it was this game where you gotta throw like a ping pong ball against a board and it has to fall in the trash can or like a bucket or whatever. So you like kind of underhand it over. So you buy in, and every time you got to make 3. So every time you miss, you got to buy in for double for what you bought in for. So you probably start with like $5, but they promise you like, okay, big rewards. Like it was like the new Nintendo game or whatever, Xbox, whatever, worth almost 1,000 or whatever it may be. So I got 2. It seemed pretty easy at first, but as always, it's like the last obstacle you got to do is the one where I don't know, somebody flips a switch or something. It changed the physics of the game or something crazy, but I couldn't get that last one, and I had bought in. I was up to like hundreds of dollars. Like, but at this point, it's like you lose if you. it don't make sense to stop playing. But
Explain that logic.
because if you get the last one, you get your money back.
Oh, that's a new
in the
rule.
reward. So it's like,
So regardless of how much you spend, if you get that last
Right.
one, you get in the reward. You feel you get your money back.
right. Well, in money back.
Oh,
And
you get
reward,
money
yeah.
back and your reward.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you
that's a
right.
hell of an incentive. That's
Right. So it's a good suck in, to get you in there and to
Well,
keep going, doubling up. And
one could argue there's no such thing as a bad suck in, but
one could argue what?
so one could argue there's no such thing as a bad suck in, but
Maybe if Kirby suck you in, that's not good.
this is true.
But
I mean, but if her nickname Kirby though,
Kirby vacuums.
I had to say
That's a bar. That's a bar for some
yeah. Double
foreign rapper.
entendre.
But yeah, man, I had to duck out. I was up to, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was embarrassing, very, very embarrassing. Like, and even because it comes to a point where it's like, well, I don't have double this amount, so it's like I'm not about to borrow from a bank or something. Take out a loan to finance this game right here. So at some point, you just take that loss. The dudes is looking like you fell for it. All you had to do, if you double it, they just want you to keep doubling it.
Of course.
It was super embarrassing, but I felt like I was good at the game though. So I was like,
that's how they get you.
They gas you up at the beginning, like, and they come around and say it's easy. Like they do it real super easy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was terrible, man. It made me not even want to go to one of them things for years and years. Like every time I look at it, I'm like, I could have used that money.
So traumatic experience. You got PTSD from the
It's
car.
not like I had money at that point. Like I didn't even have, I wasn't that stable at that point. So I'm like, it's just a bad decision.
How old were you when this happened?
No, I wasn't young. It was like maybe 4 years ago.
That's all. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
It was like 20.
I can't use the excuse till I was like, I was 18, man. I was.
That is part of the reason why I was asking, because when you're younger, you kind of have that immortality complex to some degree, and that can apply to physical being, that can apply to financial stability, whatever, because you don't really necessarily know money or care. And so you're like, yeah, I think about how much money I wasted, like in the younger years.
Yeah. And on just what it was, I think I may have spent a lot of money on like clothes and stuff.
Mm.
Like when I first started making money, like I bought a lot of clothes and I didn't think about keeping up my car as much as other things, like stuff like that. Like,
right.
You have an investment like a car, and then you lose it because you not good with money and
right. Didn't think about maintenance.
Not just car, and just like that could apply to anything,
Oh, absolutely. Maintenance is maintenance. Yeah. Speaking of maintenance,
PM.
Talking about improving, evolution. So, mysterious but warm stranger comes approaches you and goes, "Hey, we got this new procedure. We can unlock your mutant gene, but you can't know anything about the results.
Count me in. Count me in. I'm taking them odds, man. I might have something. I think I'll have something good. How many of them? I mean, I guess we got to go off of comic books and movies. So
I mean, it could be anything. It literally.
What I'm saying is usually, if you look at all of what we've seen, like it's rare that one of them powers are super whack.
I mean, only kinda, because I think about two examples. One was what was it? It was an episode of Family Guy where they like got hit with like a nuclear explosion and all the Family Guy powers. And Meg's only power was she can make her nails grow kind of long. And that was her whole power. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so that's a sucky power. Or
Were
I
they
think
trying to make fun of Black Panther?
it's well before Black Panther. Well, not really, but yeah, that's hilarious.
But
But the other one was there's a manga called Vigilantes. That's like a spinoff of the show My Hero Academia. And the main character's power is that he can slide as long as he's on his hands and feet.
he can
He
slide.
can slide on any surface as long as he's on his hands and feet. That's his whole power.
But that's kind of raw, though.
Is it? Is it wrong? What does that help?
Your
Like,
skin to be raw after.
No, I mean, like he gets like a film, like it doesn't
okay.
like physically,
Okay.
it doesn't like physically impair him in any way. But the only way his power works is he has to be on his hands and feet, and he can slide on any surface.
I'm picturing this dude like squatting down like a frog. He just
Yes.
Would you rather not slide on any surface?
I just feel like if I go through whatever process, because I don't know if it's gonna be on some Morpheus red pill blue pill shit, or if it's gonna be on some Deadpool shit where like I gotta be like in a tube for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I'll get like electricity or something. I'll look up. I'll get electricity.
Adam, how you feel?
I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, I feel like I always say it depends, but it's like who is this guy or gal that comes up? Like it's like where am I when they come up to me? Like if I'm like just at Walmart, somebody just comes up to me, yeah, it's probably gonna be a no.
What if they convince you? Let's say they convince you that it's all real, and
I'll need to see some other like proof. So other
like let's say you're still at your dealership, right? And even though you're not a salesman, like you're doing repairs on the car or whatnot, and like I don't know, you're consulting them about the repair that you did, and let's say it was an electrical problem, and they're like, oh, if it was just an electrical problem, I could have handled that. And then they snap their fingers and like a little bit of lightning comes out, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And then they regale you on what happened, and they go, yeah, I can actually, I got the hookup. John Kerry down the street. It's a lab over in Arkansas. We can get you hooked up, but I can't tell you what powers you're gonna get because no one knows until we unlock that gene. Could affect your body. You could come out looking like Beast, a Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah.
I always think about X-Men with
the Thing.
Type of...
I mean not the X-Men, but
Fantastic Four.
I always think of that dude when in this kind of type of conversation. I guess I would do it. I would chance it.
Yeah.
I would chance it. Let me say this. As a nerd, I have to. There's no way I can say no to that. Or as a geek, rather. Because we just had this whole conversation last week. But I'd have to go, how many other people have done this already?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we ain't I'm not voluntarily going into some Tuskegee shit.
Yeah. Captain America.
Or Isaiah Bradley, spoiler alert.
It's a shame that I'm more for this than the vaccine. Like I'll take this before the vaccine.
Vaccine is just so you can return to what you think is a normal life. But if it's an extraordinary life on the possibility, yeah, that's more attractive.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, if you had the choice, what powers are you, what's the main power you want, and what's the power that like what's the first like horrible power that you're like, oh God, I hope that doesn't happen.
So as far as what I would want, I'm not sure what I want specifically. I just would want it to be able to benefit me in a monetary way.
I think they all can.
Yeah.
Well,
like-
I mean,
Like,
it's
well-
hard to say all because we don't know, but most of them do. When I see like superhero stuff,
yeah.
I always think like, man, they could get money by doing this. And that.
Like, for example, like if I had like a super strength or something,
Mhm.
I guess in theory that could make you money. It depends on how you, because like you could like get into like a strength competitions. You can do it like
Mm.
I was gonna say the honest way, but that wouldn't technically be honest. But I'm saying you could do that and get money, or you could just go and break into safes and just pull the doors off, which would be that's a way too. But
I love that your spectrum is Mr. Olympia
yeah,
and Robin.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I would have to really think about it, but I think super strength could be cool. I feel like there's a lot you could do with that. It's kind of boring though. It's not really that flashy, but it's
could
easy to
be.
hide. It's super easy to hide though.
Right.
If you can control it.
It could be flashy, you know. When you throw a Toyota Corolla at somebody, somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, that was boring." Like, I'm a glutton, so of course I'm probably gonna, be like, if I find out that like 60% of the world has powers now, I want to be on some Peter Petrelli shit, where, if I touch you, I get your power. If I'm near you, I get your power. Regardless of whether or not that's for like a certain period of time. But
I never liked that superpower. With, I mean, it was all right. Like in X-Men
with Rogue.
Yeah, with Rogue, but it's like you just going off of everybody else things.
Yeah,
like,
that's fine.
I don't like it.
It's not plagiarism. The only difference
like my power is your power.
Yeah. So I mean the I guess the only downside besides the Rogue situation where you're like you're stealing life force from people is that person has like a mastery of that power. And if you can only hold the power for like an hour, you're not really gonna do any like fantastic feats with it.
Yeah.
But no, I want something subtle, but something like strong, like I can affect like atoms or technology or electricity or something like that. Like if I could affect things on a molecular level, that
like steel, like steel and metals.
Period. Like have y'all tried that show Invincible?
Yeah, amazing.
No,
on Amazon Prime.
Not yet. I hear it's good.
It's,
really good.
It's great. There's a chick on there named Adam Eve.
Yeah.
And her power is actually like mad dope that she can like move anything on a molecular level. So like she went to the woods, saw a couple trees, and then reformatted the atoms of the trees to make a tree house.
That's cool.
And so like that kind of power, I think is mad dope.
Yeah.
At that point, you'd be to see the what's next on there.
Yeah, that and Falcon and Winter Soldier are doing fantastic right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on the fence with Falcon. Like after the first episode, I was like, it's okay. And then, but it definitely got better, like quick. Like, pretty much after you get past the first episode, I was like, okay, I can see where this is
say
going.
better. It's only 6 episodes in the season, so I'm like, y'all can't be slow about this.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't realize they're only doing 6.
Yeah, I think because I think WandaVision got 10 episodes, but I think the budget for this is a lot higher.
Oh, okay.
I think I could be wrong, but
yeah. I could see that actually. I'm just thinking about the scenes because WandaVision. I mean, she was in that house for like half the half the season.
She kind of uses her power. The only special effects department really is for anything involving her powers. But other than that, it doesn't really require that much or as much. But all of the fight scenes, especially the ones that like fly through the air or on the back of that truck and all of that, that's a lot. That's a lot. higher.
Yeah.
But the content is great.
Yeah.
We could be here all day talking about that. Marco, what you got for powers?
Well, I think I'll try to manipulate some type of natural, phenomenon.
Mhm.
Some like, kind of, I guess, like the Avatar. Pick one of them type of things.
So you want elemental powers?
All right, probably elemental powers, or like I said before, like electricity, or like something like
Mhm.
that.
What's a power that like if you got it, you'd never tell anybody you got it? Like everybody else is showing off their powers, and you'd rather just be like, "Yeah, I don't have any powers."
I would say so. Have you guys seen the Academy Umbrella
Academy? Yeah.
So I forgot what her name is, but she's the one where she can she can get you to do stuff.
Oh yeah.
I heard
the
a rumor.
black girl.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor. Mm-hmm.
It's like I think the power is cool. I just don't like the way it's activated.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's like why can't you just tell them that, hey, go jump off a bridge?
and why does she never use her power when it's useful? In that whole last season, half of those things could have been solved by her just using her power.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably for the sake of we need 10 episodes, guys, so let's just but yeah, it's like that power is like, I mean, it's a great power to have, but it's kind of like that's the first one that comes to mind, at least. I just hate the way it's activated. It's like
it'd be a little weird too if I saw you, Adam, being like, I heard a rumor that like this. What? Margot, you about to say something?
I was gonna say probably if I was like a shapeshifter, I probably wouldn't want anybody to know. So like they would never suspect like this may be Marcus.
Bad power, bro.
This he talking crazy. This probably not him. This probably Marcus. This don't seem like my mom right now. My mom wouldn't say
that's funny.
I don't what was it? Have y'all ever seen the show Misfits?
Yep. Yeah, I sure have. I used to love that show.
Yeah, the first season is great. After that, trickles down. It's very
I stopped watching after like 2 or 3 seasons, but
yeah. The power that I can't remember anybody's real name these days, but the black girl on that show, Antonia Thomas.
Yep.
The power that she first got, as much as I'll be talking about sex and all that kind of stuff, and as fun as I think that's a horrible power.
What was her power again? Like seduction or something like that?
Yeah, but it was a thing of if you touched her, then the most like horrifically cruel sex acts that you could ever like yell at a person is what is what would happen. So like
wait, what?
Like let's say a dude like touched her skin. It was like Rogue in that sense. Like if you touched her skin, you were affected. A dude touched her skin and he's like, oh, let me just wrap your hair around my dick. It's like,
but it comes from your own mind.
Like it forces people to lust after her in a disrespectfully aggressive way. And I was like, this power is, and I get that's like the thing about it is all of their powers in that first season have to do with their trauma to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that is the suckiest power I've ever heard of in my life.
It's like how can't you use it to her benefit? Ever.
There's no reason for this power.
Yeah. But I think that would be dope if we got powers like it your power is just like an exaggeration of something in your life already. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
I'm,
Not my traumas though. I don't want
mean,
people yelling their low self-esteem things at me.
yeah, not necessarily. I wasn't necessarily talking about traumas,
like stuff that you're good at, possibly, and then it just like magnifies.
Gets
say
amplified.
if you like becoming a meteorologist, or you interested in that stuff, like, oh, you have extensive knowledge about clouds and stuff, like, okay, now you
storm.
you storm type of or cloud man. Manipulate clouds.
It's like, oh man, is he gonna strike us with lightning? No, he could really just create like a light drizzle.
I can create what looks like a dragon. You know how you look at the clouds.
Look at the clouds and make different pictures. That's hilarious.
It really is.
That's an interesting idea, actually.
I think it's so many routes you can kind of go with it.
Yeah.
And also makes me think about that good concept of a show, but failure of a show. It was called Powerless.
Limitless?
No, it was a comedy with the pirate from Dodgeball, Vanessa Hudgens, Ron Funches, and some other folks. Where it was an agency that made equipment for superheroes in a city that like superhero stuff happens. And so it's from the perspective of them, of like they designed the equipment and weapons and all that kind of stuff, but they have to deal with like, Dr. Earthquake is attacking the city again. And like, is anybody seen Jeff? Yeah, Dr. Earthquake, Jeff fell into a chasm during his lunch break, and so he's not coming back. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was a good concept, but it just wasn't done well.
Yeah.
That reminds me, like, this is a little off subject, but it's going back to the show Invincible.
Yeah.
You said Earthquake Man. It was like an earthquake dude. Remember he was like had some wristbands.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't help but notice how pro-black he was. they was at Mount Rushmore. He was like, you wanna protect these slave owners, these racists? Like, it was a white dude. He was like, really? It was all of it.
He was like extremely liberal. Because he was like pro-black. He was talking about the sexism and misogyny of the country. He had all the good ideals,
but then he went on to say, like, I took these classes. I took African dance.
Right.
I was like, dang, this dude on his pro-black. Let this dude go, man.
That's funny.
That's always let's even go that route. We've seen a lot in superhero stuff these days about where they finally got that the plight of the antagonist is really, really important to the development of the protagonist.
True.
Are there any antagonists in past or recent times that you're like, I really align with what they were doing, and I'm not really against it?
Well, I'll give the opposite, because a lot of people think like Thanos.
Yeah, that's
it makes sense, but I never subscribed to the propaganda that the Earth is, we have too much people, our resources are. I don't subscribe to that. Like, I kind of hate when people say that. And maybe it's stats and stuff that'll show me differently, but I really truly believe that we can live a little more in line with the Earth. And I guess when they say that stuff, is saying like, if we keep at the same rate we are now, like doing the crazy stuff that we doing and just like destroying stuff,
right?
But I'm not gonna assume that we just gonna do that, or that is what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta think of another villain that I do agree with. So
I have something to say on the Thanos front toward that may not answer. It's not really a part of this question, but just to show, I don't necessarily disagree with the notion. If you believe that the universe is overstretched, because I think it was bigger than Earth. But
yeah, you're right.
Earthlings and humans are way too narcissistic and think that everything circles around us. But
I mean,
if
I guess we had to keep it kind of grounded with that. I mean, I don't.
it's
We never been to anywhere else, so
true. But I'm saying
I
everything's imaginary anyway.
Yeah.
And so, but essentially, my original point is, if he was like, I'm going to get rid of half the sentient beings in the universe, why couldn't you just use that same power to double the resources necessary to those sentient beings?
Yeah, he essentially had unlimited power at that
Right.
point. He could have
like
did it without even moving, probably.
That would have been the actual solution, is to
That's
just
true.
double it as opposed to removing half.
Yeah.
Unless you just like killing motherfuckers.
Yeah. I think like at the end of the day, a villain is a villain. So it's
Right.
like there's still that desire to destroy. It's like it's always going to be somewhere in there. So it's like, although his issue might have been sort of valid, like you said, he just wanted to kill some folks and like just to be sinister. Like just
even though I even played with that concept, that was something that was kind of talked about in Dragon Ball Z, is they have these characters now called destroyers, and this notion or concept of that destroyers aren't inherently evil. They destroy because it's about balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah,
but I
go ahead,
don't know
Marco.
if I was thinking. I always think of like Magneto and Professor X. That whole
dynamic.
Like contrast of ideology or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Of like joining or trying to change or joining whoever is oppressing you or whatever, like, instead of like Magneto just like resisting them completely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look how they treat us. Like in that sense, like sometimes I don't even think of him as a villain. It's like, it's kind of real life.
And he wasn't, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they work together, but
right.
I mean, most of the time you look at Magneto as a villain, but they did work together, at times. But sometimes I think I ask myself, like, I would probably be with Magneto on this one. Like sometimes he makes sense.
I feel you. I think it's a thing of, and there's a lot of X-Men lore, one that veers off, so it's a lot that I don't know. But there's all these side stories. What's the point I'm making? Get it together. I don't think Magneto's a villain. I think they paint Xavier to be so benevolent and whatever, that they just look at him as the good guy. And because Magneto has his oppositions, he must be the villain because I'm supposed to look at Xavier as a good guy. When I'm just like, both of them are fighting for some kind of liberation, but Xavier wants integration, which, if we learned anything from our own real life experience, if the whole notion of X being king and Magneto being Malcolm X, integration never happened.
No.
Like, everyone was forced to assimilate into the white power structure, but integration never happened. And that was the main thing folks were fighting for. And so you look at like a Beast, Hank McCoy, who's out here on the legislative block and all this kind of stuff. And I watched a good chunk of the old X-Men stuff when it got put on Disney Plus. And I was like, damn, y'all just, folks, humans are just evil for the sake of being evil. Cats just be over here trying to live their life and like, get out of here, you mutant bitches.
Yeah.
And it's like, just performing hate crimes with no kind of consequence. Senators being like, "Well, you gonna let these freaks in?" Like, and so
You know that.
I go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm with you. I wouldn't necessarily be against Magneto either. I'd probably be on Magneto's side for a good chunk of it until like some latter parts where like I want to say at some point Cyclops loses his shit and takes over Magneto's side and he gets extra tyrannical about all of it. But yeah.
Always knew something was up with him. But I would damn, what was I about to say? It make me think of when it's always weird in superhero stuff or you know, mutant, whatever, how to see how they cooperate with the law enforcement.
Mm.
And it's like I would just completely disregard them if I was a superhero or had powers. It's like y'all just getting away, y'all just make things worse. Like I don't understand how they cooperate with them at times. It's like you got all this you got M16s and stuff. Like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. The police, military just need to handle local stuff at this point.
But that would be logical. But what happens anytime big monsters or any super person entity shows up? Humans tend to think guns work. They never do.
I'm kind of worried at this point. I know I'm taking it somewhere else, but
It's fine.
if it's an alien invasion, and what if they just totally pass like projectile weapons? Like they probably figured that out by now, how to resist it. like like in all the movies, they showing us like, man, this probably not the peak of warfare, like the stuff that we have.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do. Is this weapon that they have that they put on destroyers, like battleship destroyer? It's called a
railgun.
ram.
Oh, ram.
Call a ram, but it's no, it's called a LA. Basically, it's a laser weapon.
Yeah,
It's
I think that's a railgun, right? Is that it?
Yeah, I thought that was a railgun.
No.
Okay. No. I know.
Dang, I forgot what it's called.
We need Chris here for this.
That's right.
Yeah, but they mount it. It's like a huge. It looks like a telescope. It's crazy. But the weapon technology that they have now, I wonder what they have that we don't know.
Well, Adam, you in the armed forces, and so I'm going to be like Lil Dicky in the pillow talking video and ask if you think that we can. Do you think humans stand a chance in alien invasion?
I don't think so. Like I saw a meme like a while back, and it was like, it was something along. I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines like, if civilians knew what and if civilians saw like the behind the scenes of the military, they would think, I'm completely butchering it, but they would think we were completely not ready for whatever. And it's kind of funny because it's kind of true, because like when you see like a movie or whatever, and it's like, especially like a war movie or like an alien invasion type of movie, and you see like the military are are like super structured, and military precision, that's a term you hear thrown around, and military grade whatever, insert word, military grade weapons, military grade whatever. And that's always made me laugh, because like, after being in the military, like I don't really think there's a such thing as military grade anything, because it's just,
I think that
it's just stuff painted green, really. I mean,
It's
I
not
feel like they use that term just to like gain a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
So whatever it may be, like they use this in the military. It's just like
Right.
it could be a knife. Like they use this one.
It's like, is it like some special alloy?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
is it?
it's just the one that they bought in bulk. Like what you talking?
Yes, like and we would always joke like, they have contracts with companies just like everybody else, and like it's always a joke that goes around like we just buy from the lowest bidder, like who's ever willing to give us the best deal. Like, all right, we'll take that.
So I
Like,
looked this. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just say like stuff is like it would be funny if someone wrote like a comedy of all the stuff you didn't see, but I like just pretty much explaining how the military is just like another company. Like it's just
Mm.
like I remember like for example, there's offices. There's office buildings, in the military. We have finance offices and housing offices and stuff as simple as, man, the printer don't work. Now we got to call out the printer guy. It's just stuff like that, like you don't see in movies. It's like,
Right.
dang, now the printer don't work. Now we can't print. Now we got to go to such office to use a printer, because it's like stuff like that is funny to me, because like you don't really associate that with military, but it's
We did miss that scene where they ran out of toner and Saving Private Ryan.
yeah.
But hey, the way that I kind of know that without being in the military is when I see when something goes down and it's time for somebody to be responsible, they always hand it off to somebody, the next person. Like, so it's like, it's just like jobs. It's just like when you go to your job, like everybody just trying to, what's that term? SYA or whatever, savior.
Save your own ass.
Save your own
It's
ass.
something crazy.
CY.
Yeah, CY.
Yeah,
Save your ass.
So yeah.
cover your ass.
Yeah.
Oh, CY. You said,
yeah, CY.
Wow,
Okay.
that was a dumb moment.
I don't use it enough. There's something like that. They always say that, but I think it like kind of confirmed that it's the same way there.
Oh yeah, people say that actively. That's why I know the acronym. People that's a constant acronym that's thrown around.
You got all these ranks and stuff, but basically they probably pawn it off to the next lower rank. Like you should have done that.
Yeah.
But that one weapon is called the LAWS laws system. It's a laser weapon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. I was studying that. But you know what? I think the ones who push forward technology are the companies that the military buys the weapons and stuff from. Like Raytheon is a company.
Lockheed, Boeing.
Yeah. Yep. Lockheed and whatever. They make them machines for everything, like post office. Only start.
I watched Iron Man yesterday.
Yeah, so it's like whatever going on in them buildings, that's where it's really going down at. Yeah.
That's such an interesting idea to me. It's like you said, there's companies out there that make weapons. I mean, they make weapons, and it's like, what's to stop some other country or corporate, not country, but country or terrorist organization from buying those weapons? It's like, I mean,
but that's exactly what they do. They figure out how to, especially China is good at like figuring out how to reproduce what people make.
Reverse engineering.
Right, basically.
Yeah. South Korea, although South Korea is a huge ally of ours, they just unveiled a new fighter jet, and it's exactly the same as the I want to say the F-22 or the American F-22, whatever. It's like it's the same thing, but they just unveiled their new jet, and like I said, we're close allies, so it's not like not really a big deal. But it's just funny that there's this big reveal, and then when you see it, like it's F-22 that we've had for like 20 years at this point, but no, it's not longer. Yeah.
Thank you for that jet education, because I don't know nothing about it. What would you say, random, just because we're in the subject? I know you said if you never touched another plane again, you'd be fine. But absolutely, is there any model that you were a fan of?
Oh yeah. As far as yeah, they are. I mean, and for different reasons, like the I can say the F-22, so I just mentioned it, but the F-22 and F-35, but probably more so. I mean, they look cool. Like the F-22 just has a cool look to it. The F-35 kind of has a cool look to it as well. Far as performance though, the A-10, I think a lot of people are fans of the A-10.
Mm-hmm.
It's an older jet from like the I don't know, maybe the 60s
Mm.
that they still use today. They essentially it was made to it was its purpose was it was made to destroy tanks. That's its main purpose. Um,
Okay.
and the way it's constructed is it's like it's essentially a flying tank because like the cockpit is like it sits in a essentially like a titanium bathtub for the most part. So and that's for like if you're getting shot at, the pilot is essentially
Safe.
somewhat safe.
Yeah.
Like there's this folk folklore of like this A-10 that had like one wing shot off. It had like a vertical stabilizer, which is the parts of aircraft that has the
Mhm.
tails that stick straight up at the back.
Right.
That's the vertical stabilizer. It has two of them, and one of them was missing. And this jet was, but it still was able to fly back. Like it still was able to
I
fly.
know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, so like
Wow.
it's a beast of a aircraft.
Man, shout out to Ace Combat. Y'all gotta play that game.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I haven't played Ace Combat since '92.
It's like number 7 now. they got
Wow.
all of the newest jets and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah,
Like
E10
while I
is
was
cool.
playing it, I was knowing like F-22, Graping, whatever, Graping E, all them.
So to make this kind of, you about to say something, Adam?
Yeah, I was gonna shout out another jet.
Oh, good.
Another cool jet, which is it's not like a fighter jet or anything, but it's called a U-2. Essentially, it's our spy
It's
plane.
a beautiful day. Sorry, I didn't do that.
So what's cool about it is, though I don't necessarily agree with spying and stuff, but what's cool about this jet is it's capable of flying so high that the pilots have to wear spacesuits to fly it because it flies at like 80 or 90,000 feet in the air, which is like 3 times of a regular airplane.
Wow.
Like it flies so high that you can see like the curvature of the earth when you're in it. And it's just really cool, and it's because of the shape of it. The nose of it is so long that when it's landing, they'll have another pilot in like a Corvette or something fast. It'll be driving down the runway, essentially like somewhat under it. It's to a certain point, and he's communicating with the pilot, telling them like what to do because he can't see the runway because the nose is so long. So they have a chase car actually driving behind it, telling it like left, right, or whatever. It's just interesting. It's a very unusual airplane. And like the nose is super long, the wings are super long. If you ever play Call of Duty, I think I forgot which one, but there's the one where like when you get like a kill streak and you can call like a spy plane or whatever. That's what the U-2 is essentially. So yeah. Yeah.
Confession, I've never played Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't think so. But
I know you.
Week.
Yeah, I know you probably know that, Adam. I don't know if you know that, Marcus. I've never been a fan of first.
Yeah, I know you don't like first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Still.
All power to you. It's not my zhuzh. I was about to ask something. Shit, I should have held on to it. Oh, circle back to the superpower conversation a little bit. Flying, overrated, in my opinion.
I would agree. And it seems really scary too.
I could probably deal with the scary factor of it if I know I can control it. But I know, one, I got weak eyes, and the slightest breeze makes me tear up. a gentle breeze will make me like completely watery eyed. And so the air accosting my eyeballs at flight speed just sounds horrible. And two, if my windshield gets flies, I got to make sure I fly high enough that bugs can't go get in my teeth and shit. Like
That's pretty funny. That's something they don't really acknowledge in movies and stuff.
Right.
Both like the eye thing, because I'm sure anybody flying at 200 miles per hour is gonna, like, unless you got on some goggles or something, which I guess some superheroes have goggles, but
Invincible
most
had
don't.
that same thing.
So what?
We was talking about Invincible.
He do got the whole goggle thing.
Yeah.
But his dad doesn't.
Yeah.
But for me, like, just to add on to that, like, that's a power that I'm not gonna say never thought was cool, it's just not for me. Like, I think if you have a group of heroes, if somebody on the crew got that power, it would be beneficial. I just wouldn't want it personally.
That's real.
Yeah.
I would much rather have super speed, or I don't know, maybe even floating. But I don't know if I need to fly.
If you could swim at like at the same speed you was flying, that could be cool. Kind of like Aquaman.
True. I gotta learn how to swim first.
Aquaman is always disrespected, man.
He is.
Show him some respect. He's a king.
I blame the old Justice Friends for that, because they made it seem like all he could do was talk to fish, like he wasn't out here kicking ass. And even if
he could fight out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robot Chicken like really get into him and Batman, all of them, man. But really, Batman, Aquaman, like they really have no remorse when they mess with them.
People cape so hard for Batman, in which all the jokes that Batman gets, I'm completely for. All the, my superpower is white privilege, and
it definitely helps.
Capitalism.
Yes, it's like the reason why his chin is out in his costume is so that the cops don't ever shoot him.
That's hilarious.
People be like, "Yeah, man, with prep time, he can deal with it. He got contingency plans for everybody in the Justice League," and I'm like, they can still kill him faster than he could do it in his contingency plans, though.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think all these, like I agree with you. All the jokes about Batman are funny, but I still like Batman for whatever.
Sure, like, I don't have anything.
He's too classic. Yeah,
I enjoy Batman.
Yeah,
I just do. I can't help but agree with all of the jokes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine just like if fucking what's his name? What's his name from Shark Tank and the owner of the Dallas Mavericks?
Mark Cuban.
Yeah. If Mark Cuban was on the Justice League, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Actually, I got a question. If you could think of any rich person, I wouldn't say, I'm not saying they have to be a billionaire, because I feel like we only know so many of them. But if there was a rich person to be a superhero, who do you think could be a superhero? And it'd be like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that. Or villain, actually.
Or villain.
Villain would be easy. That'd be an easy one.
Much easier.
Yeah.
We can get into the whole Bill Gates conversation.
Mastermind type villain in the corner, rubbing his hands together type villain. The Rock.
I was gonna say I feel like the Rock is an easy answer.
Turn into some type of rock character.
Geodude.
and yeah.
Actually, the character on whatchamacallit, he could be that on Invincible, Rock Dude.
And still maintain some type of political.
Yeah.
Right.
Trying
to think who what rich person can I see as a hero or villain? Trying to think of who's legitimately rich.
For me, as far as the villain thing goes, I would say Elon Musk. And reason being is, first of all, he's got the money, that's a given. But then he also has the know-how. He's into the whole space thing and the
Lex Luthor type.
exactly.
Well, we don't need another Lex Luthor because we have Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of Lex Luthor type villains.
And the thing with Elon is like what will make him such a dangerous villain is a lot of people like him. Like so he could easily like rile up the masses.
Right.
Donald Trump too, actually. He would be a great villain, like a real life villain.
Would be.
Yeah. I guess you could say.
Two-Face.
Because like he has that following. Like anybody that can like
cultivate that kind of following.
Yeah, like that's a dangerous person. Anybody that can like move that many people.
Regardless of your platform.
Yep.
If you're against that platform, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain's going blank on this one.
I can't help but think of people who've played real villain.
Like who?
Everybody, like when we mentioned Lex Luthor, what's the dude who
Jesse Eisenberg?
No, Kevin Spacey.
Okay. Because I'm like Jesse Eisenberg was like a horrible Lex Luthor. Kevin Spacey is hilarious. I think Kevin Spacey was a great villain on House of Cards.
Yeah.
Then there's the whole pedophile thing, which legitimately makes him a villain.
I think Morgan Freeman would be a dope villain in something
besides Wanted.
Yeah.
It's not really like a real superhero type.
Oh yeah, I think he'd be a great villain. You know, I wasn't against Sam Jackson in Kingsman.
Yeah, I thought I liked him in that because he was like kind of added a comic, you know,
quirkiness.
He was still like very sinister. So yeah, I liked him in that.
What's the dude Rockefeller that had like 9 heart transplants by now?
Oh,
he'd make a good villain.
Oh yeah,
he looked like he looked like an undead, some type of zombie type villain.
Because he's had 9 transplants. My man is literally translucent.
A zombie with money. That'll be a good villain.
If what skill do you think you have that if enhanced into a superpower would be like would really benefit you?
I would say just the fact that I built things, like if that was transformed into a power, kind of like how you said there's a chick on what's it called, Invincible? How she can like kind of
manipulate molecules.
Yeah. Well, I guess that wouldn't quite be the same thing, but something along those lines where like maybe if the power would be like you could. I'm trying to think of like actual person that does something like that.
It'd be similar, but would it be like a thing of like on the like some Matrix shit, like within 4 seconds you can completely learn a new craft, or would it be like as long as it's carpentry to some degree, you have super speed toward construction?
I would say it would be more like a Tony Stark type of situation. Not that he has a power, but more so like just a knowledge. Yeah, a knowledge to make things. I could see that being a thing.
So you like a genius level engineer.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would kind of make sense because like for me, I'm not one to be in the forefront anyway. So like maybe I could be like what's the guy that makes stuff for Batman? Fox, yeah.
Fox, yeah.
Kind of be like that level where it's like, but you know, obviously Tony Stark, he's like super arrogant. Obviously, you want to be the hero. That wouldn't be me in that situation, but it would be cool to supply the crew of heroes with you know, with their gear.
How about you, Marco?
I think mine would be similar. Like I keep thinking of like a Green Lantern type.
Yep, that's the thing.
Where you kind of like use your imagination.
Anything you can
times
imagine.
willpower, imagination times willpower type thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking of right now.
I like that. I'm generally like warm and charismatic enough that I can either be inviting or I can be somewhat off-putting, which is that release of like serotonin and endorphins and all of that. And so if I had a superpower that whatever like chemical release toward emotion that you need, I can give any person. So like, let's say you have a shortage of, I don't know, this literally just came to me now. This could be complete and utter bullshit because I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. But like, let's say you have you maybe been in a depressed state and you're like, oh, I actually, I may have low magnesium and I need to increase this, yada yada yada. And so I'm like, oh, come here. What'd you say was going on with you? You got this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. Okay, so we're gonna make it so that Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday you're gonna have heightened endorphin release. So you want to go to the gym those days. And you're gonna get your real good workouts in on those days. And then on Monday, Friday, you're gonna be really horny. So make sure you got somebody. And then boom, that's your prescription, and that'll go on for like the next month or so until you get used to it, and then your body can naturally produce it or something like that.
So
like
I said, so you would be like a bio. Well, I'm trying to think of this. I'm trying to create
like
this.
Like a biochemical pharmacist or something like that.
You're like a healer, like one of those. Like
yeah, but it would be like a biological therapist almost,
kind of,
or biochemical. So like, because you're balancing people's, because all the reason why people feel a certain way is because of the chemicals in our minds and bodies. But if you're able to balance that just at will, you're a therapist. But like, instead of someone having to see you for 6 months, it's like you're doing it instantly.
Yeah,
I feel like we're coming up with a comic book right now.
Someone is stealing this.
We gotta ask Aaron. We gotta ask Aaron what his would be. And then we have 4 characters right there.
Hey. Now and y'all any of y'all care about being a cartoonist? We can get this shit on webtoons. We can make some money.
I could research some superhero style stuff. We can get it. I think I got to come up with a better one though. I think about it. That's dope though.
It is actually, because as you guys were talking about it, like, wait a minute, this guy actually sounds like something.
Because I want to believe that I'll be on the street running folks to fade, and I'm like, man, because put me out on the battlefield, then I'll be like this, and you hate yourself. Cool.
Or you figure out how to do like Scarecrow and kind of create a certain like release some type of specific toxin or whatever that you like, oh, this will make you blah 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 fear or whatever it may be.
That's the thing I do love about superpower stuff is you find out all of this like extra knowledge of manipulation.
That could be your thing though. Like, you could be the mind that figures, like, you're the expert at all the bodily chemicals and at what they do. And then I could be the person that makes that into a weapon. So like, whether it be like a rifle, but it has these darts that has the chemically things that you came up with. So that could be like the
I
got a different one, man. I'm not gonna be like, I can't be just I'm Green Lantern.
Red Lantern.
I'm a Forest Green Lantern. Nah, I'm a manipulate frequencies, man.
Okay,
so
I get it.
So I'm into sounds and music or whatever. But
True.
this one is, how everything vibrate at a certain frequency. So I could break things, I can move things, but not totally in control of that probably until I get older in my powers or whatever. But
Right.
so I think
Okay.
that'll be dope. I could kind of float. I can manipulate certain particles. If I get in my higher frequency bag.
Yeah, and especially because pretty much everything is atoms vibrating, and so if you affecting frequency, you could slow that down, you could speed it up, you could literally turn people into like pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frequencies and sound and stuff, that's powerful though. Like if you as you know, you can completely disorient somebody with sound.
You can destroy a mountain with sound.
Yeah, avalanches and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta talk to Aaron.
We gotta talk to Aaron about this. He's like, fuck the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But basic
some good ideas.
Yeah, we got something. We coming up on something. Fellas, I think that's a good place to wrap. So we're gonna close out there. Thank you for listening to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest Podcast.
Another
superhero edition, apparently. That was only one subject we planned on talking about, and that took up the whole episode. So that was great.
It did.
Hope y'all enjoyed this geekdom. We might get into some more serious stuff. I guess we also did talk about scammers. So if you want to write us, if you want to talk to us, if you want to, hell, possibly guest, since we invite pretty much anybody on this podcast, you can write us in at informillyhonestpodcast@gmail.com. That's InformILLY honestpodcast@gmail.com. You can write us on Instagram at InformILLyHonest, Twitter, InformILLy_HP, and Facebook at InformILLyHonest. We love y'all out here. We appreciate you for listening. Please share it with a friend. Comment, like, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. If you do that, it helps us to get suggested to other people. And while we are, just 4 regular gents from Gary, we want to be able to, connect with more people. And so let's help. If you enjoy listening to us, I'm sure other people will enjoy listening to us too. And so, fellas, y'all got anything to say?
Tell somebody about us.
Yeah. That's pretty much the same thing I would like to say too. Just just if you're in the car with your friend or somebody, just hit play. That's it.
So that's literally how we shared music for our whole lives. With the car, press play, they'll ask or they won't. Right?
Yeah. Who it is?
Word. This podcast is sponsored by Booty Cheeks Everywhere. And
that's a very strong sponsor.
Oh man. Every conversation, every connection that you have, every person that you love, we hope that you engage them and root yourselves inside of these 3 principles, and that is being forthright, being vulnerable, and most of all, be honest.
That's right.
Much love, y'all. Peace.
Peace out.
Episode
45.
Without shedding a tear for my brother. I really want to try for my brother. 'Cause I truly do feel for my brother.